Okay, please clip that as well. Clip that as well for me. But let's get back to kind of more serious things. That one fell apart pretty quickly. Let's go to Cassidy from Montana. Cassidy from Montana. I would like to hear from you.
Hey, David, you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Awesome. So I have two things that I want to say. So I have
Listings for near me around Fairfield.
sorry, I have.
Are you Canadian originally? I just heard a sorry.
No, I was just born in Montana, and I still stay here.
Oh.
I had a stroke last year.
Oh my God.
I'm 29.
I'm sorry to hear that.
Yeah, but I had to move in with my parents.
Yeah.
And they're very, very, at least they think that they're Republican, but I just,
Okay.
I have a huge list of things that I want to talk to them about,
Yeah.
and I have a hard time saying things because of the stroke. So if I have something that I could really focus on to make a good argument, it'd be a really good thing to know, I guess.
Well, listen, you're not having trouble communicating with me, so when you say you have trouble, is it you because of anxiety, or you have trouble actually speaking sometimes?
It's, I have to really, like, talk slowly and think about what I'm trying to say.
Well, that's good, because then you'll probably actually say things that make a little more sense than if you're just kind of running your mouth. I mean, listen, I would try to connect with them on one issue, and to me it seems like, given your medical situation, what about the fact that there's an entire party that's unclear as to whether they think it should be legal for private insurance companies to charge you 5-10 times as much because you have a pre-existing condition? Why not start there?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that. I just don't know very much about that, so I guess I have to do some more research.
Yeah, I mean, where I would go in and say, listen, now you don't have to say all this stuff. This is me talking, as someone who talks about this stuff all the time. But you go in and say, listen, I'm not a communist, I'm not a socialist. I'm fine with the market being used to determine what cell phones are made and how much do we charge for cell phones and what kitchen mixers are made and blah, 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 all that stuff. But when we're talking about people's health, understand that when you do market-based solutions and you let companies do whatever the hell they want, a company can say to me, because I've had a stroke, you have to pay 10 times more than somebody who's your age but didn't. And I can't afford that. So then I end up without health insurance. Do you think that's fair, Mom and Dad? I can't imagine that they would. And that would seem to me like the entry point for a conversation.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I think I wanted to make a suggestion about Discord.
Sure.
If you have a separate channel,
Yes.
and you have like a separate moderator in there,
Mm-hmm.
you could check with them if they're there, and be like, okay, we're gonna put David. You're gonna talk to David in like 2 seconds.
A call screener sort of thing. Yeah, we're looking into that. We're exploring a few options. I like the idea though.
Awesome. Okay, and not to take so much time. The hot dog thing. You can kind of make a kind of a joke question to draw the line between stools and chairs, and like, what is a stool? What is a chair?
Mm-hmm.
Like a stool with a back on it. Is it like a stool, or is it like an armchair? I don't know. I used to kind of make stupid hypothetical questions like that. Anyhow.
Thank you so much. Listen, I think you deserve a mod ship. If you want to be, this is exactly the type of, you have upper management written all over you, so we need you as a moderator somewhere. So send me an email if you want to be a moderator on, Twitch or YouTube or Discord. Let me know, because that's exactly the type of high-level thinking we need. I appreciate the call. Very, very good. Let's see where else we want to go here.
Hey, first, congratulations on all the growth you've had.
Thank you.
Really nice to see. I was not going to get on, but then the caller earlier, the guy who had the stroke, and he was talking about how to, talk to his parents about that. That made me think about, something I'm thinking about with the Medicare talk when you talk to Republicans.
Right.
The way I handle it that I think is really effective, and you kind of hinted on it a bit, but just to make it more clear to them, is you say, we believe in capitalism. It works when you have competition.
Yes.
Right? So, grocery stores, restaurants, there's competition. Capitalism works. We're not anti-capitalism.
Right.
But when you have a broken arm or you have an emergency, there's no competition there because you're going to go to the nearest doctor possible.
Yeah, well, there's an economic term for what you're talking about, which is that demand is very, very inelastic.
Yeah.
In other words, your demand when you don't have a medical situation for medical services is essentially zero no matter what the price is. Your demand for medical services when you have an emergency is complete and total regardless of what the price is. And that's why we would take out healthcare services from the market.
Exactly. And so that vocabulary, you just like calling it inelastic and whatnot, like that may make sense for someone who's had, a lot of education. They're trying, and they can turn things into abstract notions really quickly. But when you're talking to someone who really doesn't think about these policies that much, you really have to talk anecdotally.
Absolutely. I mean, you have to. I would have to think about the right language for someone who maybe has never studied economics. But it would be, listen, if you have a broken arm or appendicitis, it's an emergency, and they can screw you 6 ways to Sunday because you need the appendectomy, and that's not fair, or something like that. Yeah.
And that really gets them thinking about why it's important to these things.
Exactly. Yep. Beautifully said.
Yeah, and then the other thing about it too, is that when you're talking to Trumpists or whomever, they get very defensive when you put forward a good point, and you don't have to get them to agree right on the spot. Just make your point and make it clear, and they'll think about it on their own, and sometimes they'll change their views.
That's true. That sometimes happens. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's too high of an expectation to get a Trumpist or a Republican to agree with you right away.
Yep. Fair point. All right, thank you so much for the call. I appreciate it. I'm told that the president, at least for a little while,